Idaho lawmakers say that homeowners are missing out on a tax break. When an Idahoan pays property taxes, the state allows the homeowner to exempt up to 50% of their property value from taxes. But the maximum exemption in Idaho is capped at $125,000. Now, homeowners with the property assessed at more than $250,000 receive no added tax break. But a memo from the Idaho State Tax Commission says that they otherwise would. The homeowner's exemption used to index the max exemption would increase or decrease depending on the current housing market. And if the still indexed, some homeowners would be able to exempt another $100,000 off their property. It's a problem that lawmakers on both sides are looking into. Here's Andrew Bartline with the report.
A booming housing market pays few favors to longtime residents and their property tax bill.
The housing market has gone crazy in Idaho these last several years.
Kathleen Ireland works as a property tax policy specialist at the Idaho State Tax Commission. She released this memo in early October. The document shows the maximum homeowner's exemption every year since 1980. A quick look at 2023 shows the maximum exemption is nearly $100,000 less than what it would have been had Idaho lawmakers not changed the law in 2016.
You would have a much larger portion of your assessed value being exempted from property tax and receiving a lesser tax bill.
And Idaho lawmakers say a lesser tax bill is needed.
Homeowners east to west, north to south in Idaho are screaming for help.
Republican Representative Bruce Skaug tried to provide that help in the 2022 legislative session, but his bill to index the homeowner's exemption never made it out of committee.
Well, of course it's frustrating when you have a good idea and 40 people are backing you in the House to get it done. But it's up to the chairman, and I back the idea that we have good, strong chairmen, and they can put a bill in the drawer if they want, but not when there's 40 co-sponsors.
This is a top priority to me.
Democratic Party Chair Lauren Nekachea says Skaug's experience is not unique.
I think we have enough numbers to pass a bill. It's getting the bill heard. That's the problem. I've brought personal bills, I've co-sponsored bills with Republicans to address the homeowner's exemption, but we can't get hearings because Republican leaders don't want us to go back to an index exemption.
So what is the argument that's holding back support for an indexed exemption?
Well, I'm not going to make all the arguments for them, but large corporations have benefited substantially. I own commercial property and I love the tax break I'm getting, but it's at the expense of the homeowners. And as a homeowner, I don't like that.
Representative Skaug is so focused on lowering tax bills, he's already written a bill for the next legislative session.
The bill for indexing is already drafted. It's ready to go. It has support across the state. It's been run by several assessors in different counties as well as clerks, and they're backing the bill.
It's the kind of bipartisan support Representative Nekachea has been pushing for at the State House.
You know, I'm talking to my Republican colleagues one-on-one whenever I can.
Cream will rise to the top. If this is the best cream of the crop, it'll be the top bill and it'll go through. I'm pretty confident we're going to get this bill heard in committee this time, though.
Nekachea says it's encouraging to see bipartisan support on an issue that she's been pushing for a couple years now, but says it is hypocritical of her Republican counterparts to say that they support a bill that would index the homeowner's exemption and lower property tax bills, but then sit idle by and allow their Republican leaders in committee to stop any bill from even getting a hearing in that committee. So there is bipartisan support on this topic, Joe, as mentioned. It looks like there are people on both sides, but we're going to have to wait until the legislative session to see if a bill does get a hearing and can get through.
And there's a lot of conversation amongst lawmakers about property taxes and what they could do with local government to kind of bring that down, something we're here to across the state. But until the session starts, we'll just have to wait and see, because when that starts, first day of the session, I have an idea. We're going to get a lot of different perspectives on how that can be brought down. But for now, though,
there's a lot of different bills too.
There is. He's not the only one that has one ready to go the first day of the session. Andrew Bartline reporting. Thank you, Andrew.